What's up, hot sauce? If you're ready to learn how using internal hippy dippy emotional work can change your commercial real estate pipeline in a way your competition would never think about, this is the video for you. What's up, hot sauce? I am Alicia Shepard, and I'm all things commercial real estate. But what I also am is someone who is constantly curious about how we as human beings tick and work, because the more we can understand that, the better we can help our clients make deals, and the better we can go out into the market and put together some exceptional results. We can build our businesses bigger, and we can help our clients do that too. I recently was teaching a course in my program, 7 Figures in 90 Days, around how the book Loving What Is totally changed my sales game. And it made me realize I want to share some of that content with you. See, Loving What Is this incredible book. I can't recommend the audiobook enough, actually, by Byron Katie. And she is best known for her self-inquiry method called The Work. And this is a process designed to identify questions and thoughts that ultimately just cause stress and suffering. See, her philosophy centers around the idea that it's not really our circumstances that are causing our suffering, but it's our beliefs about those circumstances. So here's kind of a way to think about it, right? I'm a big follower of the Adler methodology in psychology, which includes, it's not the totality of it, but he really includes that, like that, we change our mind. You have the right to change your decision, change your process, make a choice, like that. It's done, right? And Byron Katie similarly says suffering is optional. Are you kidding? Suffering is optional? When did I not learn that in my childhood? Because I would have signed me up twice, because that would be amazing. But through her work, I learned that we suffer because we believe thoughts that argue with reality. Let me show you where this shows up in a commercial real estate career, right? Let's say you're newer in the business and you're prospecting on the phones. You're smiling and dialing, baby, because it's prime time, grind time. And this is a phone heavy, cold call heavy business when you're starting out. You're making new relationships, you're building your database. You're making your calls, and it's not an unknown thing. Rejection is high. It's a very big piece of this game, and you just have to have some thick skin to get through it. Well, if I am suffering through this and hearing all the thoughts and the no's and the rejection and the hangups, suffering is optional gives me the reality check that this rejection might be a hallucination. She gives us a process that we can break down and question these thoughts and start to dissolve the suffering. So let's break it down. She, in this book, has this really cool thing. It's called The Work, and it is a 4-question inquiry process. But you have to start it by first identifying the stressful thought that you had. I can't do the work if I don't know what the hell I'm doing it around, right? So my thought might be, had a sales call, they told me no, and I hang up the phone, and my brain goes to, they think I'm a horrible agent. Okay. Well, here are the 4 questions, and let's unpack them as we go through it, right? First one, you're going to ask the question, is it true? When I hung up the phone, I think they think I'm a horrible agent. Is it true? Now, I can only give a yes or no answer to that, and that's going to force clarity for me and slow down reactive thinking. I have to say yes or no. Well, let's let my ego respond for a minute. My internal emotions that are all pissy, pop off for a second. Yeah, of course it's true. Then we go to number 2. Can I absolutely know it's true? Not kind of, sorta. Can I absolutely underline that shit? Can I absolutely know it's true? This is going to encourage me to go deeper into reflection. It's going to make me lead to the realization that certainty is elusive. It's elusive. I have no way to know if they actually thought that. So I have to say, well, no, I can't absolutely know it to be true. Now I go to the 3rd. How do I react? What happens when I believe that thought? See, it's going to make me explore my emotional, physical, and behavioral response. It's going to make me recognize how that belief is affecting relationships, my peace of mind, and my decision making. Now, you might say, okay, Alicia, a cold call hanging up on you, that doesn't impact your relationships. Darling, yes, it does. It's impacting your relationship with your most dollar productive activity in the beginning of your career as a commercial real estate broker. It's impacting your peace of mind for getting comfortable with being bored and doing what's required, being consistent and persistent at this piece of the game long enough to get to the outcome. And it also is messing with your relationship on decision making for how you're going to use your time. I've watched new agent after new agent after damn shame new agent put that phone down and say, I need a break. And they step up and they walk off and they spend the next 30 to 45 minutes screwing around, doing God knows what. They go take a walk, they go down to the bodega, they go talk with another agent that's in the cube, that both of them are finding the reasonable reasons not to get their ass on fire and pick up the phone and make the next call because that didn't feel good. And I want to give you some perspective on that in another video. So make sure to check in on the video that we're going to put after this one around your relationship with being a new commercial agent and a prospector. It's just a little short that we're going to do. But I want you to think about this. They go waste that time. Every time I hang that up and I think that thought, the behavior is my decision making. It's my relationship with that. Now I go to the fourth question. Who would I get to be without that thought? Imagine your life, your career, without that limiting belief, with access to a more peaceful and present version of yourself. And you might look up and go, Leisha, that sounds a little hippy-dippy for commercial real estate. If I am not peaceful and present and in the moment, I am not going to get through the grit and the grind that is required of me to make my calls, and neither will you. And it might look different on each of us. Trust me, I'm not in kumbaya mode when I am in prime time, grind time. I am pacing my office. I'm bouncing a tennis ball. I am high energy. But that is the peacefulness. I need an internal peacefulness to settle into that mode for long periods of time. So when I get through these 4 questions, I know it wasn't really true. I know what it does to my decision making, to my reactions, to my behaviors. And I now know kind of a vision of who I get to be without that thought. Now comes the cool part. This is where Byron teaches us turnaround. The turnaround is where, as a salesperson, you're going to turn rejection into resistance. Because rejection means I'm letting someone else own responsibility for that thought. They felt that. They didn't like me. It was something that put me into a victimized stance. I was rejected. Blah. Can you tell how I feel about that? Instead, we're going to move to resistance. And when I do the turnaround, you're going to see what happens. I no longer get to say, click, they think I'm a bad agent. Put an I in front of that. What if it's I think I'm a bad agent? Well, shit. Now let's go do the 4 questions with that. Is it true? For me, I know my answer would be no, but for you, you have to answer that for you. Whatever that belief was, you now have to own it. Can I know it's absolutely true? How do you feel? How do you physically respond? What do you do when you think that thought? And who the hell do you get to be without that thought? Because that's where we start to envision the version of ourselves that is masterful at this game. The version of ourselves that is not trapped in being a statistic of someone who fails out of this industry. There's a horrible stat in commercial real estate that 1 in 10 will actually get into dollar productive activity. 1 in 10 people who try this. And God forbid, that should not be you. You should make sure you're doing everything you can to be able to be the one who makes it. And we should have an army, a fleet, a community of us big enough that we change that number, because that is bullshit. This should not be such a hidden and cryptic and like dog eat dog boys club world that 1 in 10 get to play the game. too much wealth is held here and too much opportunity is kept inside these circles for that to be okay. You deserve a seat at this table and in this game. So get your head in it, ask these 4 questions, and unpack your shit. Because when you do it, this is how it can impact you, right? You're going to start to neutralize the rejection and fear that shows up for you. Instead of having that common thought that other agents, average agents think, well, they didn't call me back because they didn't respect me. You're going to then start to realize when you inquiry it, when you start to inspect it, that that assumption wasn't proven. And it emotionally is costly to think like that. Costs you money to think like that. Without that thought, you follow up confidently. Without thinking that way, you get to silence the resistance that strips your production. And that's going to prevent a downward spiral of self-doubt that kills your follow-up. See, when you do this process, you're also going to get to build your emotional resistance. See, sales is 80% mindset. A single thought like, I can never hit my numbers. I'm an Alicia 7 and 90, but I could never possibly get 5 leads a day. That shit will sabotage an entire day of prospecting. And if you let it, it'll take a week. It'll take a month. You don't have many opportunities of that happening for you to financially ruin your chance to make this work. So as you get through it, you're going to realize that'll help you confront those inner narratives and erode their messaging to replace it with motivation and clarity and re-engaged action. You're going to stay steady even when your pipeline feels big and scary and intimidating. By doing this type of work inside your sales business, you're going to improve your client conversations. You won't ever have to be in that position where you think, I need this deal to close or I'm screwed. When questioned, you're going to realize that thought dissolves, freeing you to focus on solving the client's problem and not project desperation. The client feels heard, not hunted. That deal will close faster. You'll get it done because you're not desperate. And by the way, when we're not desperate, we go do more of our dollar productive activities and you won't have that problem. You should never look up and have your pipeline, your livelihood defined and depending on one deal. And lastly, my friends, when you do this work, you're going to clarify your own motivation and inner blocks. As a commercial real estate broker, you might hit plateaus because of some unexamined stories you have around what it means to be a top performer in commercial real estate, around the space at the table you're allowed to have or you perceive you're not allowed to have, around your narrative with wealth, around your narrative with what your value proposition is. And when we dismantle those with this method, you become not only authentic, you become someone that people believe is KLT, knowable, likable, trustable. You're no longer performative. You are result-oriented, and your business has no ceiling. There's no potential you can't reach for and achieve. So think about how you're going to go get this process of the work. Either just start with these 4 questions, or better yet, get the book, the audiobook of Loving What Is, Chef's Kiss. It's so good. She actually demos the work in it. It's really cool. Go listen to it, give it a read and ask, in commercial real estate, how can I deploy that to improve my business? You'll, by the way, improve yourself along the way. High five. I love double dip. We get to fix 2 things at once. Yes, but go and also improve your business. Because when we do this work, you can compete at a level your competition would never even think about, they're not talking about, and they're not inspecting. Your clients are ready for this type of relationship to show up around their biggest assets, to show up around their relationship with their real estate and their relationship with the wealth that's going to change their legacy. And if you do it right, it'll change yours too. Drop us a comment. Let us know what questions you have about this. You can keep joining us in the Nucleus community and get to know us more. I hope to see you around. Let us know what topics you want to hear about or books that you want us to inspect and see how it could change your commercial real estate career. Join us in the video. Go find it. It's right here on our YouTube Shorts that is around how you can change your identity belief about what being a brand new commercial real estate agent is. See you on the next one.